Greetings, people of Earth. I'm Jonathan L. Segal, the creator of Space Vacation the Musical, the sci-fi musical comedy for the whole family, and you're listening to the instrumental track for The Universe is Like a Song. Space Vacation's a story, a show, an album, and a podcast. You can hear all 22 songs at www.spacevacationthemusical.com. In episode number 1 of the podcast, I read chapter 1. Haon and his family are getting ready for their summer vacation, rocketing all over the universe. Adventure awaits them. In this episode, I'm going to read chapters 2 and 3 and play some of the songs from the album. Chapter 2. And so it was that on the last day of school, young Haon Illamaf sat in class on the edge of his seat with great anticipation. With summer just around the corner, the whole class sat so far out on the edges of their seats that the seats barely noticed the wait. At the front of his classroom, on the 3rd floor of Public School 11T2, sat Mr. Asafalbood, Haon's two-headed schoolteacher. A man of one mind, but with two ways of expressing it, Mr. E, as he was fondly known to the children, was finishing up 1 year of visiting the bright yellow planet. He had come there to teach young blue children all about the universe, and Haon had benefited immensely from his wisdom. Whenever Mr. E spoke, the words might switch from one head to the other head and back, even in the middle of a sentence. You, dear readers, being from Earth, might find this a bit odd, but for Haon and his classmates, it had only taken a day or two to get used to. Had you stood in front of the class watching students listen to the two-headed teacher, you would have seen the children's eyes jump left and right, as if they were watching a tennis match. And on this last day of school, I would like to take this opportunity to say what a wonderful time I've had teaching you about the history of so many marvelous cultures throughout the myriad star systems that send their warm glow to all of us across the light years. Always remember that when you gaze at the night sky, those twinkling lights that you see are really radiating glimpses of ancient civilizations sending their greetings to us beyond time and space. By now, some of the children's eyes were getting just a bit crossed from looking left and right at Mr. E's two heads. They were, of course, too polite to mention this to him. I would also like to thank your headmaster, Dr. Nietzsche, for inviting me to your school on your lovely planet for what has been for me an exhilarating educational experience as well as a chance to make new and interesting friends. I hope that this year has been as exciting for all of you children as it has for me. And I know that someday soon you will visit my lovely planet, Tinapathomanyal. And now, I'd like to hear what some of you will be doing for your summer vacations. The hands went up with oohs and ahs. Yes, Trebor, said one of Mr. E's heads. Trebor Senaj, a bright young fellow, answered, Me and my brother are going to go to Digital Outward Bound Camp for a month. That's marvelous, Trebor, said the other of Mr. E's heads. Every child, and may I say, every adult as well, should know how to build a computer from simple natural materials in my own time. I have had to build them from tree bark, broken glass, plant roots, and once, in the desert of Fibula, from the droppings of a wild animal. Mr. E's other head, who had been listening to this, stared at his brother head with open admiration and awe. Yelris, what will you be doing this summer? Young Miss Yelris Drabflog stood. Well, we're staying in the city and doing nothing. Ah, Yelris, Mr. E responded. Nothing is nothing. Nothing is really a state of mind. If you wanted to, you can make this the most wonderful summer that you've ever had. Perhaps you will exercise to improve your body or read to improve your mind. Perhaps you will find out, as I did this year, what a charming and diverse city you live in. We're not doing anything this summer, was Yelris' only answer. You may sit down, Yelris. Mr. E's heads looked a bit peeved. Haon raised his hand. Yes, Haon. I'm going to see the whole universe. Before the teacher could comment, Leonid Nosrak interrupted. Big deal. Every night you stick your face in that telescope. Don't get stuck, man. Some of the students laughed at this remark. Haon turned slowly and stared at Leonid. Hey, said Haon to Leonid, nice and loud, we're going by rocket ship. At this, the class gasped, and then Haon finished with, so why don't you go blow your nose in brachiopod soup? The class laughed. And eat it. Haon's friends whooped as Leonid slunk low at his desk. That's enough, the teachers' heads both said. Haon, are you saying that you'll be touring the universe by rocket with your family this summer? Yes, Mr. E. That's marvelous. Children, I can think of no better way to understand one's own world than to visit others. Haon, I hope that your trip will be as rewarding for you as my visit to your planet has been for myself. Haon uncrossed his eyes. Thank you, sir. Oh, and Haon, said both heads, and then one head said, I really do mean it about visiting my home. If you and your family are in my necks of the wood this summer, you must stay with me for a few days. I have a liquid nitrogen swimming pool, and my daughter will be ecstatic to have you there. Great, Mr. E, I'll tell my dad. Then it's settled, said two heads. And then Mr. E became a bit sad-looking. For a moment there was silence. And now, children, for what will be the last time, I'm afraid, let us stand and sing our school song together with great gusto. The children stood, and what appeared to be Mr. E's chair retracted and folded up behind his rear end, because it was not a chair. It was part of his body, and part of the bodies of everybody from Tanalpa, where he came from. It was his chair-ump. A chair-ump was a wonderful thing. When you wanted to sit, it folded out and you sat. When you wanted to stand, it folded up and you stood. Was nature not marvelous and convenient? They all stood facing their teacher, and then they sang. They sang the beloved school song that children at Public School 11T2 had sung for so many years.
Oh, P.S. 11D2. I'm growing older now, so are you. All the king's robots and all of his men can't make us grow any younger again. Oh, P.S. 11D2, where children are happy although they're blue. When I am old and my life is all through, I'll remember 11D2. P.S. It's been nice at 11D2.
P.S. 11T2. Remember the faculty barbecue. And what a pleasure to teach at your school. If you're in town, come and swim in my pool. Oh, P.S. 11T2. 'Twas here in our bodies and minds we grew.
When we are old and our lives are all through, we'll remember 11D2. P.S. It's been nice at 11D2.
The children sang it beautifully, and Mr. Asafabud's two heads sang a lovely harmony. I wish you could have heard it. Afterwards, there was quiet again for a moment. Mr. Asophaboud's left hand wiped the tears from his right head, and his right hand wiped the tears from his left head. The children clapped for their beloved teacher, who would no longer be their teacher anymore. Goodbyes were said all around the room. Haon headed for home and onward towards his greatest adventure. Chapter 3. It really was a beautiful day. Enoch came back from Glamshmaster's rocket rental, towing the rocket behind the family car. The rocket stood straight up in launch position. It was a very convenient setup. You launch your rocket right from its portable launcher. After all, if you launched it from your yard without the launcher, you'd ruin your lawn, and no one wants to turn a perfectly red lawn into a brown mess of burnt grass and dirt. The rocket wasn't really that big, but it was built to hold luggage. Lorak and the kids cheered in appreciation. "Let's start packing," said Enoch, who was proud of himself for coming up with this great idea of a vacation trip. And so, there they were going in and out of the house, packing the rocket van. "I'm psyched!" yelled Haon. "Psycho if you ask me," Elo needlessly interjected. "Psyched," repeated Haon, who was in too good a mood to start up with her. Their parents stood outside the screen door to the house, going through the checklist of things that needed to be brought along. "Credit cards?" said Enoch. "Yes," said Lorak, "but I wish that we could leave them home. They're almost full, and I don't want to be in another galaxy when they're rejected." Enoch smiled at her mischievously. "Don't you want to wash dishes for 200 years in a methane-based atmosphere?" She didn't laugh. They weren't rich, and this could prove to be a rather expensive trip. Out on the lawn, Haon started to tell Elo all sorts of scary things that he thought would happen on the trip. He was expecting incredible adventures. "Elo, there's going to be monsters of every kind on this trip. There'll be 20-foot-tall bugs that eat little blue girls like you. Why, there's going to be plants that smell real nice, but one whiff and you turn into a walking zombie. We might get kidnapped by bandits. Our rocket's going to run out of fuel or we won't be able to land. There's going to be horrible fungus that grows on the side of the ship, and I'll have to shoot it with my ray gun." He didn't have a ray gun. All this made Elo nervous, and when she got nervous, she always had to pee. Once in a great while, she'd get so nervous that she'd have a peeing accident right there on the spot. This was a source of great embarrassment to her, and even worse was the fact that her brother would tease her about it. Elo was very glad that her big brother was not going to be driving the rocket. She was already upset enough by his tales of the bad things that might happen to them on the trip. Their parents did not expect such craziness on the trip. Lorak wanted to get a tan lying by a purple ocean. She was glad that she wouldn't have to wash, cook, sweep the house, or work at the lab for the summer. Enoch was looking forward to 4 meals a day in the best restaurants. Perhaps they'd stay at a lovely chateau in the mountains. They were ready for a very relaxing trip.
Cosmic adventure. Nobody knows what we'll find there. Think of the creatures we're gonna be meeting. Monsters of every kind. There's gonna be bugs 20 feet tall who like to eat little blue girls like you. There's gonna be plants that smell very nice. One whiff of them and you'll become a walking zombie. Mommy! We're on a road to a cosmic adventure. We might get kidnapped by bandits, or maybe our rocket will run out of fuel and we just won't be able to land it. Come along if you can stand it, 'cause this is the cosmic adventure.
This is the start of a lovely vacation, and I know just what I'll find there.
Beaches and mountains and nice little inns, and a place where we all can unwind.
There's gonna be stores
Down by the shore,
I'll shop a lot.
maybe I should leave the cards.
No way! I'm going to get a beautiful tan all over me, lying by a
yourself a lovely vacation.
No cooking, no washing, no sweeping.
4 meals a day at the best restaurants, and at night we'll take pleasure in sleeping. We're glad of the company we're keeping. We'll have a lovely vacation. Ooh, I just can't believe we're finally going to go. I can't wait to drop my bags in a little chateau.
There'll be fungus that grows on the side of the ship. We'll be caught in its grip, but I'll shoot from the hip. Dak, 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 dak. This is the start of a trip with my family. Maybe we won't be surviving. My brother acts very weird when he's happy. I'm glad that he isn't driving.
We'll lie in the sun.
Haunting by night, I have to pee.
Goodbye to suburbia.
We gotta be brave.
Gonna relax.
I have to
The
pee.
weather will be bright and balmy.
Mommy! We're on a road
This
to
is the
the
start of a
adventure.
lovely vacation.
Nobody knows
I know
what
just
you'll
what I'll
find
find
there.
there.
The creatures
Beaches
are
and
gonna
mountains
be
and
nice
nice
little
little
answers
answers
on
on
facts
facts
where
where
we
we
all
all
come
come
on there and driving. So fill up the tank, back in the hatch. We're gonna go 80 zillion miles an hour.
We hope that we've got plenty of toys, 'cause after all, we'll be on the road with Haon.
Crayons.
We're on a road to a cosmic adventure. Nobody knows what we'll find there.
This is the start of a lovely vacation.
We'll have to dry my behind there. Come along and lose your mind there. This is a cosmic, this is a cosmic, this is a cosmic.
That afternoon, they climbed into the ship for takeoff. As in most rocket vans, you'd climb into your seat upside down and put on your seatbelt. Not only was there a seatbelt law, which is a good idea if you ask me, but frankly, without your seatbelt, being upside down could be a bit of a problem, as you'd fall right out and bonk your head on the floor. So they sat there upside down in their seats. "Are you kids buckled down? I mean, up?" asked Lorak. "Yes, Mom," they said. "Okay, let's get this show on the road," said Enoch. "Haon, you want to do the readouts?" Well, this was a big honor. The readouts on the dashboard of a rocket ship described the ship's readiness for flight and were a serious matter not to be taken lightly. "Me? Really, Dad? Why not, son? Someday you may become quite adept at this." "Honey," said Lorak nervously, "I don't think it's such a good idea when we're all trying to get somewhere in one piece." "What's going to happen? The boy's intelligent. He can read, can't he?" "Yes, but I don't want to blow up the ship before we have a vacation." "Oh, come on," Enoch laughed. "I can do it, Mom," said Haon. Elo was not at all happy about this. "Daddy, don't let him do it," she shouted. Now Haon was mad. "Hey, cut it out. Who asked you anyhow?" "Daddy," Elo repeated. "Give him a chance," said Enoch to Lorak. "It's gonna be a long trip." "That's what I'm afraid of," said Lorak, but her tone made it clear that she was going to give in. "Go on, son. Read 'em slowly and clearly." Haon was nervous, and he wanted to make good. He started out slowly. "Matter fibrillator is an 8.25. Enoch, who was upside down in his seat, responded by making adjustments on his part of the dashboard. "Bifocal ophthalmic septus anchor is 56.7. Delirium tremulator is..." "It's on your left, son." "Oh my God!" screamed Elo. She was not happy that Haon didn't know where it was. "Delirium tremulator is in neutral." "I should hope so," his mom said. Haon kept going, getting faster because of his nervousness. "Mom, I just read him as I see him," he said, not taking his eyes off the dashboard instruments. "Cryptomagno is at 6.2. Iambic pentanuliper is wavering just below the distortion level. We should have had it checked." Enoch raised an eyebrow at this remark. "It's a rental, Haon." Haon went on. The pneumothromboshlapowski is balanced and in the black. Bilirubin Potchki looks real good, Dad. Be specific, son, Enoj said patiently. 12 to the 5th power. Thank you. Let's go already, a bored Elo said. We're almost there, dear, said Lorak. Now Haon got even faster. Lubicashlimas go, Automatopialaskers go, Scarfobobblesmarfers okay, Flubicontinuums go, Schnurramp Tomschbommies go. I think that's it, Pop. Very good, son. Wow, Haon, that's wonderful, said Lorak. Ugh, I need a barf bag, said Elo. Barf bag's okay, said Haon, still looking at the dashboard as if barf bags were part of the readouts. He had succeeded and was not going to let her take it away from him. Then Enoj said, Darling, would you start the countdown? Oh, let Elo do it, she answered. Yay, Elo said. How come she gets to do everything? An angry Haon said. You just did the readouts, his father said. But I didn't know she'd get to do the countdown. Come on, Haon. Let her do the readouts again and I'll do the countdown, said Haon. No, from Elo. Lorak said, we could have actually sent them to Blinny's for the summer and gone by ourselves. Enoj put his foot down. Haon, stop it now. Elo, countdown. Haon's last attempt at protest was, That's not fair! And then Haon's mom said to Haon what countless moms have told their kids throughout history when the kids were not going to get their own way. She said, Whoever said that life is fair? Okay, squirted Elo. 4,096, 2,048, 1,024, 512, 256, 128, 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1, 0, 0.5, 0.25, 0.125, 0.0625. Blast off! The ship roared to life and blasted up into the afternoon sky. The family, upside down in their seats, yelled things like, Woo! Yeehaw! Ah! Whoops-a-daisy! My goodness! As they got higher in the sky and the rocket sped up, the force of gravity multiplied and the family flattened out like blue pancakes without syrup. Lot of G's, Dad, Haon said in a deep and slow voice. Their bodies were completely flat now, and their voices sounded very slow and low. They looked like a pile of blue pancakes. That's par for the course, son. It's just the way it's supposed to be, said Enoj. Elo's deep, slow voice said, I feel like a dead toothpaste tube. Are you gonna barf? Haon said slowly and hopefully. Barfing in this flattened out position could be difficult. Not unless I can get closer to you, she slowly shot back. Lorak spoke. I think we're all feeling the pressure a bit, Enoj. Isn't there something we can do? This is a new model, hon. I haven't figured everything out yet. Let me see. He lifted up his flattened out head to read the dashboard. Lights, music, glove compartment. Here it is. Ivan. Internal velocity. Effects. Nullification. Why can't they call it a corn popper like everybody else? He flipped the switch. Instantly they popped back into their normal shapes, and their voices also reverted to their natural sound. Oh, that's so much better, Lorak said. I'm alive again, squealed Elo in a very high voice. Yo, said Haon, trying to act cool, but in fact he was very glad to be back to his normal shape. Okay, we're moving and grooving now, said Enoj. Goodbye, crabgrass. Hello, swirling nebulae. And then Enoj Illimath started to sing the song they always sang on trips. Enoj and Lorak knew it from when they were little kids on their family trips. It was the cute little song that drove parents crazy all over the bright yellow planet. The song that endless camp counselors had taught endless campers. The song that seemed to go on forever. He sang,
100 quarks being chased by electrons on the edge of a titanium atom. They got on down the road with a magnetic overload. Now there's 99 quarks as atomic substratum. 99 quarks being chased by electrons on the edge of a titanium atom. Come on.
They got on the road with a magnetic overload. Now there's 98 quarks as atomic substratum. 98 quarks being chased by electrons on the edge of a titanium atom. They got out on the road with a magnetic overload. Now there's 97 quarks as atomic substratum. 97 quarks being chased by electrons on the edge of a titanium atom. They got out on the road with a magnetic overload. Now there's 96 quarks as atomic substratum. 96 quarks being chased by electrons on the edge of a titanium atom. They got out on the road with a magnetic overload. Now there's 95 quarks as atomic substratum. 95 quarks being chased by electrons on the edge of a titanium atom. They got out on the road with a magnetic overload. Now there's 94 quarks as atomic substratum.
and so, as they flew out in space on their space vacation, they sang that song long and loud.
And so the lovely family went on their space vacation.
Vacation.
They headed out into space at 80 zillion miles an hour.
They flew past Monday Moon, which only appeared on Monday. They flew past Tuesday Moon, which only appeared on Tuesday. They left their home planet far behind.
As Haon waited anxiously to be put to the test, and his parents thought that they would get a little rest.
Elo's diaper got wet for the first time.
So ends podcast episode 2 of Space Vacation, the sci-fi musical comedy for the whole family. Book lyrics and music by Jonathan L. Segal. All instruments played digitally by Jonathan and recorded on Logic Pro in my little backroom studio. The singers were recorded by Chip Fabrizi at PPI Studios in New York. I used 4 wonderful singer-actors. Keegan Gullidge played Haon, Lucia Long played Elo, Nick Gasworth played Enoj, and Lauren Reese played Laura. All 4 of them also played all the other character voices on the album. And don't forget, you can hear all the songs on the album anytime you like at spacevacationthemusical.com. Space Vacation is a family show. Grandparents can play it for grandkids, and grandkids can play it for their friends. Please share it with all generations. Space Vacation is looking for a smart producer to stage it or film it. Please let us know if you know that person. Please subscribe to the podcast. Thanks for listening, and I'll get to work on episode 3. And remember, the universe is like a song.